Welcome to the MakerCast. This is the official podcast of the Fandom Foundry, all about the cool people who make the things we love. Today, I am joined with two amazing artists who are venturing in the world of also writing. Not many people are talented at one thing, but very few are talented at both. So we're going to find out if they've like a triple threat. We'll find out along the way. So we have Minnesota children's literature artists and illustrators and writers here today. I never know. Illustrators, artists, what the proper term is. You know, it's I guess choose your own adventure. But I'm joined by we'll go in alphabetical order. So Emiko Rainbow. She is a Japanese Caucasian American illustrator and creative small business owner. She was called to the arts at a young age and followed her creative passions, which led to an illustration BFA from MCAD. She successfully runs her multifaceted art business, creating art that celebrates self-expression, connection, and diverse representation. Nana and Abuela is her first published illustrated picture book written by Monica Rojas. She is currently creating her debut author-illustrated young graphic novel. She's created bold, colorful, inclusive artwork for clients including Caribou Coffee, Trader Joe's, Minnesota Twins, and Timberwolves, and Barnes & Noble. Visit her world at amikorainbow.com. Woo!
Woo! Thank you.
I did my best. So, Emiko, how are you today?
Hi. Good.
Yes, and if you look at their backgrounds, if you're watching on YouTube, highly recommend you do it so you can see some of their awesome artwork in the background, some of the things they've done. So, and fun fact, my next guest, Meenal Patel, has two pictures that sit behind my wife's desk. Oh. So, just let you know, any of the things that these people make, they would gladly sell you something. So contribute to the arts because they are very talented. So Meenal Patel is an illustrator, children's book author, and designer whose work celebrates everyday joys, the moments that connect us, and the strength of community. She is the author-illustrator of Where Do Stories Live? And Priya Dreams of Marigolds and Masala, which received the South Asian Book Award. She also has the pleasure of collaborating with clients such as Simon & Schuster, Dakota County Libraries, Asian Art Museum, Cloud9 Fabrics, Yelp, Blue Q, and Compendium. All right, I only made a couple mistakes along the way, but you know what? My tongue is tied. I'm a kid that had a speech impediment, so the fact that I can get any of this stuff out, I take as a win.
We are testing you with our names.
Thank you. The tongue twister is there. The brain works. Sometimes the tongue doesn't.
All my spam mail says Emilio on it, so I get it all the time.
My mom calls me Scott, so it's very well. Welcome to the show, and I want to thank you both. You're Minnesotans, which is how we met. I met you through my wife, Christina, who's also part of collectives and BIPOC groups, and just part of these awesome author community that and creative community that is part of the Twin Cities, which makes this world so awesome. I love being able to be part of your events. It's kind of your hype man, your gopher, whatever you need me to do there. We're there. Spouses of artists are often needed to do work to make you shine. So thank you so much for being on tonight. And we're going to get into this right away, which is the question I ask all of my guests is, tell me about your geek origin story. Basically, like, what were those interesting things with, creative people that got you on your path to where you are today, doing awesome creative things? So we'll start with Meenal. You kick it off.
All right. Thanks so much for having us, Todd. So my geek origin story. So I think, as is really common with a lot of artists and authors who are adults, I think similar to a lot of them, I started out loving making things as a kid. I always loved drawing. I really loved working with clay. I would make these like little tiny clay animals and make these like set them up and make these like little worlds out of them, and kind of like tell stories about them. So I was making all kinds of things as a kid, and then when I was kind of fast forward to high school, I had a teacher who taught this commercial design class. And this was in high school, which now seems like kind of surprising to me now that there was like that kind of specificity of a class. And I can't remember if it was like fulfilling some kind of computer requirement or the art one, but it was a cool combo and I didn't know anything about it. And I took this class and it was basically like an introduction to graphic design. And I had no idea what that was, but I really loved doing it. And this teacher was like, you can do this as a job, which I thought, okay, sweet, that's great because I love making art. But this also felt like kind of a clear path to being able to have a career that was creative. And I think for my parents, they appreciated that because I think while you can certainly make a living as an artist, I think they would have been a little bit worried just knowing for them not maybe seeing like a clear career path in that, but graphic design seemed like kind of a nice combination. So I went to college at the University of Minnesota for graphic design and worked as a graphic designer at an agency in Minneapolis for about 10 years. And over that time, it was a small agency, so everyone wore a lot of hats there, which was great and also kind of intimidating because you would just kind of get thrown in and have to like figure stuff out. But that was also a really great lesson for me because I feel like now there's a lot of just like throwing myself in and figuring it out. So it sort of set me up well for that. And also set me up for understanding how to do things like project management and art direct and do all kinds of different facets of the stuff that I use in my business today. I also got to do a lot of illustration work while I was there, and that was kind of my introduction into illustration that eventually kind of led me into children's books and writing and illustrating for them.
That's really great. I have a son who's going to be a music teacher, so I hope he has some gigs to fall back on or something. I mean, maybe he'll be the next DJ. I don't know. Trumpet, who knows? But it makes me happy that you have a skill that you obviously can use to be part of a discipline. But also with my company, I worked with a lot of design agencies, which is great. Small ones, big ones, because we work on brands and come up with all these cool campaigns, the art, the way it works out. And it's like, style guides, crazy. That's a crazy thing. Certain colors that you have to use with the brand. It's insane. As a guy who's kind of an independent creator and like, I that's helped me along the journey because your brand matters and, having it there and seeing it in places. And and I've got a friend who he's also a graphic designer. He does a lot of the artwork I use. So I hire him in his spare time. He's very nice. He gives me a good deal because he knows I'm a struggling podcaster as well. And it's Adam Leonard. He does Megadad's podcast. Great guy. If you want good art done, believe me, there's great people. So thank you, Meenal. One quick follow-up question. What was your favorite artist as a kid? Could be illustrator, cartoonist.
This I feel like I can never think of a bunch of them, even though I know I loved looking at books and I loved making art. But this one sticks out in my mind is Eric Carle. I really loved The Very Hungry Caterpillar. And I think part of it was I was obsessed with, if you're familiar with the book, it has these like short pages that have the fruit on it and a hole in it as the caterpillar is like eating through it all. And I was obsessed with those. Like I would flip through that part of the book over and over again. And I would like hold it up and like look through the like hole in the fruit. Yeah, exactly. So I love that you're pulling it up. But I think like, I don't know, Emiko, you'll hear from her about her graphic design background as well. But like, as a kid, wasn't thinking like, oh, that's great design. But as an adult looking back on it,
genius.
Yeah, it was, truly. It's like such a genius, simple, structural thing. And I think like that's part of the magic of picture books is like the book as an object, and this you have the words and the pictures working together, which creates its own magic, but it's also this like really cool designed object that you hold in your hand and interact with. And I think as a kid, like not that I was thinking about it from that like deeper design sense, but I loved that. I thought it was so cool. So yeah, Eric Carle is a big one. I love his collage work to this day.
Yeah.
Very, very good. I love it. As a parent, when you get into children's books, you find the ones you love and you find the ones you despise. So I have two that I loved. Mr. Brown Can Moo Can You, just because my son loved the voices I made, making the animals, and obviously it's a Dr. Seuss. And the other one is The Mitten. I can't remember who wrote it.
Oh,
Such a wonderful book, especially when you live in a wintry place like we do.
Yeah,
Really,
Jan.
really
I
Classic.
think that one is Jan Brett, and I loved that one too.
yes, absolutely. Just getting lost in those details.
Yeah.
It's
Borders,
one of my favorite.
Oh, the borders. Yes.
Or like a story within themselves, and then they had like a foreshadowing
Yes.
to the next page. Like genius again.
Yeah.
Like another. Like I wonder how long those took her. Like holy cow.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah,
Those are
it's
really good.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Here's an example of that. So you have like
Yes.
boy, and then you have that portion on the side with the grandmother making a basket. It's so good. Sorry,
so
it's kind of small.
good.
Yeah, there you go. Man, yeah, just
We can
knowing
geek
what you
out
can
on
do.
books all day.
Yeah.
All day long.
As a kid, my favorite book was The Brothers Silverbrand. I don't know if you know them. They're very fantasy authors. They did illustrations for a lot of classic fairy tales, and I love the book so much. My aunt bought it for me, and it's so amazing because they do like some really old fairy tales. They're more like the Brothers Grimm, where they're just a little bit more gruesome and stuff. But as a kid, that art always stuck out in me. Like, it was amazing. So that got me on a path. Like when I was 8 years old, I'm like, oh, I love this. That's amazing.
Oh, that's cool.
Well, very good. Let's pivot to Emiko, your geek origin story. And you may have a different question than me now because I make it difficult.
Okay, my geek origin story. I actually had to look up the meaning of geek because I was like, what does that mean? Because I like
Geeky, nerdy.
I get
Yeah.
it. I get it. But like
The circus geek.
I think
Doesn't make
it's turned into like more of a positive than a negative. You know what I mean? And
Absolutely.
intellectually and like obsessed, and we just like get bitten with these things, and I am a geek for sure.
We all geek out, right? We all get so
Yeah.
excited about something.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so I had to look it up. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, definitely. Because like I wasn't sure if I was in the club or not. So my origin is definitely goes way back to since I can remember. I'm an only child, single mom. I grew up with my grandma, living with my grandma as well, and my mom. And my grandma was a librarian and school teacher, second grade. So I got to spend my summers with her solely a lot during the day. She retired and like since I was very young. So she would do crafts with me, introduce me to all the books because she's a librarian, and just like the smell of the books of like library books are still just, it gives me like goosebumps. I don't know. So that's my geek thing is books and drawing and just remembering long summer days of drawing and making things with clay and watercolor and just like feeling like you have all the time in the world. And that's what I did. I made a life-size puppet one time out of paper and like those like little metal screw things that like fold over and you can like make things like, what are those called? Like pivot type.
I know what you're talking about.
Gusset? Is that a right word? I don't know. Like we had like all these like school supplies, every random school supplies she brought home, and computer paper that we reused, and and she even helped me make my first portfolio when I was 5. I still have it to this day, and I was just going through it, and my kindergarten teacher wrote a note to me saying, you know, Emiko, you're such a good drawer. Maybe someday you'll illustrate picture books. And fast forward today, I'm doing it, which is really cool and crazy. I just found my lane really, really early when I was little. And my mom and my grandma, my family were really supportive. My mom's told me too, she's like, whatever is made is designed. So art is everywhere. Chairs are designed, wallpaper, gift bag, tablecloths. And I was just like, oh yeah, that, makes sense. And she's like, just keep going. So I took art classes outside of school, even in elementary, the Edina Art Center. I would go there. I took cartooning classes, clay classes. I still have stuff I made there, trinkets and all these things. I just loved it. And then just kept pursuing art. I was like the doodle kid, the artsy kid in school. Have Emiko do it. She's like the artist, that kind of stuff. I actually ran into a friend too in elementary school. She does pop-ups around the city. She was like, do you remember when you wrote all of our names in block letters and then we got to draw them in? Like our teacher let me do that. And I was like almost in tears. I was like, that is so... No, I don't remember that, but like that sounds like something I would do. And it just was like communal, and like it got my friends involved, and like they got to fill in their name bubble letter, like, and got to put their personalities in it. It's like I was like a part of that. It's just like really awesome. I was like, oh, I can't believe I was doing that, but that's so cool. And then I remembered. But anyways, fast forward through high school, didn't really know what I was gonna do. Money's always been a thing. So I'm like, well, I've heard of MCAD, but it's like a private school. It's very expensive. I don't know. Like, school's crazy. Like, I need to work. I need to make money. And my mom was like, you need to go to MCAD. It's right here. Go to MCAD. Everyone knows MCAD. It's a great school. So I applied and I got in right away. But I toured and I was like, I don't want to go here. It was very like gray and melancholy, and like it felt kind of cold to me I was like, I want to party with my friends, like I want to go to the U of M and I want to do all these like things. So I decided not to go to MCAD and I went to Normandale, which is a community college. And I was like, I'm just gonna get my generals done because I can't decide. My aunt wanted me to become a nurse, and I was like, oh, that could make money, maybe I'll do that. My mom's like, what are you talking about? Go to MCAD, we'll figure it out. And I was like, no, I got this, whatever, hanging out with my friends, getting work done still. But then I took a computer class, and it was like intro to graphic design, and we got to make and it was a very simple program, but we got to make shopping bags, and we could do like the sides and like the 3D and pick the handles and all this. And the teacher stopped and she was like, wow, you might have something here. This is really good. Like, have you thought of design? And I'm like, no, like I'm an artist, like I like to paint and I like to like, whatever. I was like, okay, didn't really think about it. And then, I'm rounding out my generals and I'm like, okay, I really seriously need to pick something here. And I saw that there was an illustration department at MCAD. I applied again and again, had more portfolio work because I, of course, still kept taking art classes like during community college. And I got accepted again. And once I saw there was an illustration department, I got to kind of jump in right away because all my foundation classes are done, and I loved it. Illustration 1, painting, I was like, oh, I found my home. Like, these are my people. This is my stuff. And then within the illustration department classes, there was a product design class. I'm like, oh, what is this? And then, what my mom said about, design is everywhere. Everything's designed. I took this class and I met this amazing teacher, Lindsay Knoll. She's still here. She did my tattoo. She's a tattoo artist now too. She was just amazing. And we got to make art that went on product. And I was like, this is amazing. I get to make characters and pick out patterns and designs and make all these things and actually put it on a 3D object, make mood boards. Yeah. And
you're talking so much about this place, I might as well share what it is.
Yeah, please do.
There you go.
I mean, college. It's hard. It's, bittersweet because it's really stressful and anxiety ridden, and you feel like I felt like a little fish in a big pond again, because it's like I was always art kid and now I'm like in a school of art kids, and then it's like competitive and it's 2008 and the crash just happened, so no one's working and it's really bleak and sad, and especially for art kids, you're like, oh man, this is really scary. But Lindsay, her husband at the time worked at this place called Department 56. And that is a big Christmas company in Minnesota. And they're global. They have all these beautiful glass ornaments. They license snow babies, all the village houses, Dickens Village, Santa, whatever, Elves, North Pole Village. They've been around forever. Very collectible. And she was like, hey, they need an intern. Would you want to interview? And this was my senior year at MCAD. And I was like, wow, thank you. Sure, I guess. And I got the internship, and it was like $10 an hour. I started.
An internship is a good internship.
Exactly. We had to do 3 internships total, 2 unpaid and 1 paid. And this was paid. And I started in the basement, opening up boxes, all coming in from crates from overseas. And there were like these dirty, huge boxes with all this writing over. And I was like, what have I gotten myself into? I was like filthy. And I would open up these huge boxes, and there would just be like this tiny, beautiful, dainty Christmas ornament with like all these glittery gems, and they're like beautifully handcrafted and sculpted. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. And people upstairs made this. Like, this is wonderful. And so I would set up the showroom. And yeah, that was basically my first job. I worked there a year, and then there's a whole nother odyssey beyond that. But that's kind of the origin of how I got bitten by the product design bug and the illustration bug, and I couldn't stop myself.
Well, that is a journey to yourself. I mean, I could see where you're like, I don't want to go to MCAD. It just basically it came back to you. So it's great. Life gets us where we need to go. It doesn't. The journey, though, sometimes is not the direct. It's like the Google alternate directions, right? It's like you get about the same time.
Side quests. It's not linear.
Exactly. A side quest. Yeah.
Inner turmoil, the outer turmoil, like all the things.
Exactly. I just saw the Odyssey, so you know what? He still got home. Took a while.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah. Sorry. Yes. That 700 BC recent release. Yes.
You don't know the story by now. Kidding.
There's a lot of people who don't.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, I don't want to get spoiled. Like, it's not the tale, it's how it's told.
I want to see it.
Because how many stories have been, used the same? There's like 7 basic stories, and you keep telling them in a unique way, which is great there. So, Emiko, I'm going to ask you a question about, we asked Meenal's favorite childhood artist. I'm going to ask you who's your favorite like new artist that you just discovered, or somebody like wow, they're doing something cool.
Oh no, this is crazy. There's so many amazing people out there just scrolling on the interwebs, Oh, this is not fair. I had a good one.
Yeah, you got a harder question.
Okay, I'll let you go. I'll give you more time to think about you too, Meenal. I'll give you some questions to think about it.
I could do a present day artist, but I've known her for a long time, and she's amazing.
Sure. Or you can go back to, a favorite childhood artist. I'm kind. I can be nice.
Yuko Shimizu is amazing, Japanese artist in New York. She's an illustrator, but she has like this comic style too, and her perspectives are very comic-like and bold and dramatic and wonderful. Like, I learned about her in college, but like just knowing another Japanese illustrator out there like killing it was like super inspirational for me, and just like kind of gave me a North Star really to like look up to, and just be like, wow, I'm not sure if I want to be that per se, but like someone that's doing that is like, representation matters, right? Like, and you're just like, holy shit, I can do that. Oh, sorry.
So what is her name again?
Yuko Shimizu.
Okay, I think I've got it right. So I've got kind of her.
She's not the Hello Kitty lady.
No. Is this what we're talking about?
No,
not that.
Yuko.
Oh, yeah. Yuko. Okay. So, wow. And she's an artist too, so it's kind of interesting. It's very different though. Very more.
Well, I think the Hello Kitty person is Yuko Shimizu too.
Okay,
think so, because I've seen
maybe this is it.
Yeah.
I
I
think
think it, like,
if it
mixed up
is
all
this,
time.
it's really, really cool. So I think her website is yukoart.com.
Yes.
Oh yeah, this is beautiful. I love this. Oh, brainstem.
She uses
with,
all ink, and
oh,
I
that's
believe she has
amazing.
a colorist who does, a lot of her color work too. But like, look at that!
Look at
Yeah.
that.
Ali
Oh my
Wong,
goodness.
so cool.
Ali
Yeah.
Wong getting the superhero.
I love
Flaming
that.
Fist. I
Good.
love that. Yeah, that's great. And she's
Isn't
got
she
her
cool?
pregnant, 2 pregnant pictures, and doing her
Yeah.
own thing. I love
That's
that
when
art.
she
I
was
love
doing
that.
her
Yeah,
comedy
a
shows.
little bit of everything. Oh wow, that's
Isn't that
beautiful.
So
great?
cool.
God, I
Yeah,
love
the
it.
level of detail is just amazing.
Wow.
When I was making artwork too, and like starting off like my brand of Emiko Rainbow, like I like white backgrounds, and I'm like, I can't do a white background. That's such a cop out. Like I need to do like more. But then I looked at Yuko's work. I look at Eric Carl, and it's about the textures and the details, and your eye.
Speaking of white background, sorry.
And your eye needs.
But look at
break.
this. But look at that beautiful, black background that makes it pop too, with that
There you
beautiful. Is it a moth or a butterfly?
Oh, you're in dark mode. I see. It's a butterfly.
Yes, I am. Oh, sorry, is it wrong? Because the I'm so white, that reflection of the white gets on me, and you don't see anything. You'd see like so I'm in dark mode. Yes, but yeah, this is Emiko's website. I'm showing right now. I mean, everything you see there. I mean, oh god. Chris, my wife, loves like letter or vegetable things, especially mushrooms. So yeah, but these are amazing. Okay.
Thank you.
So good.
Amazing. Love the Minneapolis. That's where we go. So folks, as you're watching this, I'm going to try to flash some of their artwork, because as we're talking about it, I want to see what they're actually doing, because we haven't really talked about like some of your actual art that you're doing. So we should probably actually get into that now. So Meenal, let's move to you. So I'm going to bring up your website, and you point me to what you people want to see. I'm going to turn off the dark mode so it comes out as you should see it. So we'll have this. So take me to something you want you to point people out. Should I start where? That you think is a good way to show a representation of like maybe your progression, how your art's changed, kind of like along your journey of being an artist.
Yeah, you can, if you go to that little art tab that you were on, and then go to shop all prints in the middle, in like the middle column.
Oh, am I missing it?
There,
shop all prints right
there.
Yeah, there you
so
go.
this will kind of give like a
so
quick
good.
overview. So
I love that you added your book illustrations in there.
Yes.
Oh, thank you. So yeah, so the illustrations here that you're seeing, they're from my new children's book, Where Do Stories Live? And I wrote and illustrated that one. And it's also the first, I've been painting for a long time, but this is the first full picture book that I've done where I've painted it on paper, which for my previous ones, I had done them digitally. And part of that was just because it's such a huge project to paint an entire book. It ended up being about 25 paintings that you have to have some kind of consistency between the characters and the color. And
there's no copy and paste, right?
Yeah, and not that, I guess when I was digitally drawing it, I wasn't using copy and paste either. And I was, every dot and line I was drawing with the stylist. There's nothing automatic about it, but the color could be more easily consistent because I was grabbing from a swatch rather than mixing the paint on a palette.
Right.
So there are things that kind of like did make it a little bit more complicated. And also like when I messed up, there wasn't an undo button, which is huge, which is actually ended up being like a really good challenge, because instead of undoing, I would kind of have to work through it and maybe land somewhere that I didn't expect. And it was so satisfying to get to just like have the mess of painting. And have like adding all the layers and all the textures, and then having this final like tangible painting that I could hold in my hand and like bring to story time to share with the kids, to show them like this is actually like a real thing that is then scanned and then it ends up in the book. So the whole process was just like incredibly satisfying.
I remember a very smart man once said, There are no accidents, just happy mistakes. Right, Bob Ross?
Bob Ross.
Love Bob
Yep.
Ross.
I remember
Love it.
when Christina wrote her first book she self-published. It's called Mukati. She illustrated it and wrote it, and she was doing it on paper. And I'm like, I remember how much time it took because she had to get it right. And it's like there's no undo. And but sometimes it turns into cool stuff. And when I'm painting, it doesn't. It just gets worse, and everything turns brown because you've just done too many
Overwork it.
mistakes. Yeah, I will eventually share my picture of my dog that I told Emiko about that I did a paint and pint thing. So, but yeah, it's amazing your artwork, the way it works. You know, every brush stroke is an intention that turns into an opportunity to see where it goes. I imagine because you've got the plan. It's just how it actually turns out, because the color in the ink pot probably isn't exactly like when you're painting your house, right? It's like, oh, that's a great color.
Yeah.
It looks weird on the wall. So with
Yeah,
this,
exactly.
you know, I mean, and consistency in the same thing. Your brushes, you know, maybe it's a little too wet, a little dry. That would just drive me insane. I'd stop with one stroke and I'd be like, I'm done. I don't know what to do next.
I mean, it's kind of it's like an exercise in patience and not being too precious, because there were certainly pieces where I worked on them for days and then would mess it up or would push it too far, and I was like, I can't get this to a place that I think is going to work, and I'd have to start over. And that was hard, but it was also, it just needed to happen. And like the first time that happened with that project, I was on deadline to send 3 samples to the publisher, and I messed it up like 2 days before I had to send it. And it was already a tight deadline. So it's not that I left it at the last minute. It's just that publishing deadlines are sometimes a little bit tight. And yeah, and I messed that one up and I had to start over. And it was just, yeah, it was a little bit rough, but the publisher was also understanding. Like, I sent the other 2 paintings and I said, hey, this one's just going to have to come a few days later.
Yeah.
So when it comes to being the illustrator and the author, is there any challenges with that versus, oh wow, I own both parts and I can do this and it's great? Or is it like, wow, when I'm an illustrator only, I can just focus on this. I don't have to worry about it as long as it's good and I'm doing my best. It's great. To your point, you mentioned about like deadlines and things like that. You don't have anybody else to blame. Say, oh, the author didn't do me today. Like, what do you think? I mean, because this is your book's amazing. I've been to one of your readings, and with that, is there any benefits you thought you'd see, and maybe any like, oh, I didn't love that part. You're like, but it's good because you actually got your book out, so it worked. But would you like, what were your lessons learned from that?
Yeah, that's such a good question, because I mean, there are perks to getting to do it both ways, right? Like illustrating for a story that another author wrote, or doing both of them. And I have my previous book that came out in this family is written by another author. Her name is Shelley Anand. And that book, it was like, it was so lovely to get a manuscript that was done. It was already polished up and ready. So there was like this lovely constraint of being like, this is the text. And they had left it quite open for me. They didn't have like a ton of illustration notes or anything. It was still like I got to do my part of the job in illustrating it. But there was some direction. I was starting with something rather than nothing but a blank page. And for me, I love writing and I love getting to write the story, but it takes a really, really long time for me to find a story. And yeah, like it's hard for me to sit down and just be like, I'm going to write a story and then write something that's actually good. I have to just write a ton. That's a ton of free writing, and then I'll find like one sentence in there from like so many days or months of work and be like, I think this might be something, and then like rolling it. It might unravel into a story and it might not, but it's so much work to develop that actual written story before it gets to the visual part of it. So in that sense, like sometimes it is nice to get a manuscript, and then you get to partner with somebody. It's kind of this like really cool relationship between author and illustrator that in traditional publishing, typically there isn't much interaction during the making of it between the author and illustrator. Like while the illustrator is illustrating, they're typically working with the art director and the editor at the publishing house. But it's this like almost like long distance collaboration where you have a piece of their creative work and you get to build off of that and add to it. And there's something really cool about that collaboration aspect. And then of course, when the book comes out, you kind of have a buddy to take it out with rather than it kind of just being you. And Shelley doesn't live in Minnesota. She's in Atlanta. So we haven't done a book event together, but I always imagined like that would be so lovely to be in the same place as the author and to get to do that together and like get to kind of do that back and forth to share the story with kids and like talk about both aspects. And also I am such an introvert. I don't like being up by myself in front of people. So like having an author buddy is like a pretty sweet deal. But I will say for this latest book and some of my other books that I've written and illustrated, it is a different kind of creative process for me to be able to bounce between the text and the art and the kind of we weave those processes together and let them inform each other in a way where I would never want to like once there's a text, I wouldn't like comment on the author's text. I would want to honor what they've created and all the work that they've done and to build the illustrations off of that. But while I was making this book, just the nature of the story was that the text was incredibly broad, almost like trying to get to this like universality of the questions that are being asked in the text to try to like offer the reader something that they could like bring their own experiences and life to. So it's very broad, but then the visuals for it show like a very specific story. And it would be it was kind of essential for me to be able to work back and forth between the words and the pictures. I'm not sure how I would have been able to put this book together if they were like completely split in the creating process. So I think it really just depends on the book, and I like working both ways. And I think there are definitely perks and like wonderful creative things about each process.
Mm-hmm.
It reminds me of when my wife has gotten the pages for the first time, and she gets those back. She always shows them to me, and she doesn't tell me too much because she knows I'm too much of a critic, and but she shows me. I'm like, it's amazing to see the black and white, and then the colors come in and everything. And then she'll make some notes, and I always say, well, don't you talk to them directly? No, it's off limits. So she tells me all these crazy things. Like, wow, I'm like, wow, wouldn't it be just easier to talk? Because I'm a communicator, so I'm like. One call is much more effective than 85 emails. So, but I get it. You want to be having everybody have their own creative process. I remember when Christina did her Little Red Riding Hood. It was a manga / inspired telling Little Red Riding Hood. She kind of like did some storybooking or what is it?
Storyboarding.
Yeah, storyboarding to help the illustrator. And I don't know if that was like, oh, thank you for your help, lady, leave me alone. Or it was like, oh, yeah, I appreciate that. You never know. It's like, is it helpful? Yeah. Is it like, and you don't want to be like the person's like, oh, don't do that. But I totally get that creative process is so different than I'm thinking about. I'm a comic book guy. So I always think of like the collaborators that were always so like Jack Kirby and Stan Lee and Chris Claremont, all these guys. And it's like, and they were just sitting across from each other, lived in New York, but now you guys are like oceans away and you never know. And Emiko, that leads us to you in your book that you just recently illustrated. It's amazing. I got to hear a reading of the book actually at the event that the author read it actually at that event that I'm blanking on her name.
Monica Rojas?
Yes. Monica? Well, no, the event that Monica read it at was when the woman behind Top Chef, the host.
Yeah. Yes, at the Loft.
I'm blanking on her name, but yes, it was an amazing event, and she got to read this book in front of everybody, including Padma Lakshmi,
Oh
right?
Yes.
It was an amazing
Yes.
event. I'd never like, and that was the first introduction. So I've heard it before I actually heard you read it. So, and you read this recently at Wild Rumpus, a bookstore, and once again, you're the illustrator, not the author. So you're putting your own emphasis on these stories, but this book is adorable. When I listen to it, I'm like, this is amazing, because my son is a kid of two cultures, and when that happens, you have your own things. My mom is Midwestern from Michigan, and my mother-in-law is from the Philippines, and everybody has their own terms, and it's funny that you have this. So I'm very happy that we've got kind of a story that more people want representation of mixed families, because having those cultures, sometimes they clash, sometimes they're collaborative, and sometimes, like, how do you get the two sides together? So this story is beautiful, it's amazing, and that's where I'm starting, because I just think it's an amazing book too. Just like Meenal, I got to hear Meenal read her story, and having the person that did all of it together doing it, and feeling comfortable. And when these book showings that you guys do, it's like you almost need like a partner to do it, because like you want to read it, but you also want to show the pictures and the pages, and the kids are going crazy. There's a cat at Wild Rumpus that is walking across people, so it's like a sport. But I just think it was very fun. These events are awesome. Great. So big shout out to anybody in the Twin Cities. We have so many good, great bookstores. Wild Rumpus, we have Red Balloon. Even we found out just there's a new bookstore down in Lakeville, Minnesota that we want to check out. It's called Niche Books. So so it's very cool. Well, Emiko, I know you've got a child that might be waking you up soon, or might be cranky, and you didn't get a good night's sleep. So I want to make sure we cover some of your art, and where you're at, and kind of like what your journey in regards to your art, what's available, and lead me to where I should show people, kind of like your journey, and some of the things you're most proud of.
Oh my goodness. Well, I do have to say about Nana and Abuela, that was just like, I don't know the word, kismet or destiny, because I had a I always mess this up, SCBWI portfolio. I uploaded some artwork a year ago and I forgot about it. And the Minnesota Historical Society Press found my portfolio from that website. So I am forever grateful to them. And then when the manuscript came, I was like, is this real life? Because this is about a little mixed girl in the Midwest. Mm-hmm. That never happens. Like, never saw that in my life. And I am mixed. I'm Japanese and Scandinavian Irish. My mom's blonde, blue-eyed Minnesotan. My dad's Japanese. They met in Hawaii. So there's a lot of people that look like me in Hawaii, but not over here in Minnesota, Midwest. So I've always said that I've had just kind of a foot in two worlds, and even my own world on top of that, because like I could be with my, Caucasian friends, but also like with Asian kids I fit in with, and other, ethnicities, because I was just always othered as a mixed kid, and as a third culture kid, as they call us. And my whole life has just been, the golden thread has just always been hybrid, or like mixing many things. I've traveled a lot, Australia, Mexico, Canada, Hawaii, all these places, and Europe, and I've been super lucky and privileged that way. So I got to see outside of the Midwest bubble as well growing up. And I think that was really helpful to be like, oh, I'm not the only one. It's just kind of my home, and I just have to kind of deal with it, I guess, and find the good people, find the good in what it is. So when this manuscript came through, I was like, this is just meant to be. I'm so excited. And I had no picture book illustration in my portfolio, just characters, kind of what you see on my website, characters, kind of standalone illustrations. And they asked if I want to do it, and I said, absolutely. And Monica, she's a mixed girl as well, the author. Chilean is her background, and her mom is actually a librarian at the Central Library downtown.
Wow.
And she was Nana in the book. Yeah, so Monica pulled from her experiences, and I like to pull from mine, just because, like you said, it's like the Odyssey, the hero's journey. But if we all put our own experiences into these books, they will be unique stories. They might have the same like emotions and common threads of being a human, but with our specific stories and experiences, we reach other audiences and maybe more people, or expose people to other cultures and experiences too that could be right next to them. So I don't know, I just wanted to say that. And with Nana and Abuela here, I wanted to incorporate that hybrid, that mixedness. So like Scandinavian, Nordic patterning that I saw growing up in Minnesota on our plates, or welcome in signs and things like that.
That's exactly right. That Scandinavian, like quirky art.
Yeah, it's beautiful. And then also with like Otomi Mexican patterning, I didn't know what Monica, her heritage was, but Hispanic was like, Latinx, whatever. I was like, okay, we need to put some really fun color and flavor in here. So all this patterning is kind of a mixture of that. And Nana is more like rectangular, and she's a straight shooter. She's A-type, so she's kind of more rectangular. She has the Scandinavian colors on her clothing. She has a tight bun to like keep her like knitted and added. Pearl necklace, classic. And Abuela, she's more round shapes. Her hair is more jovial and swirly. She has the fun fringe on her poncho scarf. And then Luna in the middle, she's actually a mixture of both. She has the yellow, the reds, the blues, and she's also her own character. And I made her eyes really big and open, because she sees the world bigger and more open than how her grandparents see it. You have to read the book to know the actual story, but
no spoilers, please.
Yeah, as an illustrator, we are authors too. We're just doing the visual part of it. And it's really fun. And yeah, writing is really hard. I'm writing my own graphic novel right now. Writing is not my wheelhouse. It's been a process, starting the manuscript myself. Like with Nana Abuela, the manuscript was handed to me. All the words were written page to page. So all I had to do was put the words on a blank page and then sketch my heart out of what visually I saw those words meaning to me. So yeah, I think it felt like a freelance project, or just like some sort of project with parameters, with a style guide. That's like, it already had a skeleton there that I could just like work off of, an armature I could build. So that it's really fun. It's really fun to have those parameters, like Meenal said, but like, it's also really challenging to write. And writing is a craft as well. Like I was like, oh, I can do this. Probably like every person, they're like, I can write a children's book, blah, blah, blah. It's so, do it. Try.
Everybody has a story in their head, right? And it's just
so hard.
Do you have the passion, the intuitiveness, all those things? It's like, give it a try.
To edit yourself down to the not basic, but most simplest, cleanest, classic, beautiful way to say something is so challenging and hard and beautiful, and a craft in its own. And then as an illustrator, to illustrate that is like, wait, I already said it, so I don't need to illustrate it, but you can say things with illustration. So there's just like this whole world going on when you're writing and illustrating, I want to say. And again, this is my first written and illustrated book and graphic novel. I've never even done a graphic novel. So that's another step in this challenge. But like, I didn't even really have a process. So I've just been like really in the weeds, just going back and forth and like scrapping the writing and then just going to visuals and then yes, this is the best.
I was going to say, this is the Bible that everybody talks about, like graphic novel.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
the illustrating the comics, the way you tell a story with its visual medium and turning the page and what's going to happen. And
I had
Marvel
that
has,
before it's just so great with perspective and pacing and contrast and rhythm, all that stuff is so wonderful. I have the Making Comics one. I think this is this the second one?
This is Understanding Comics. There's Making. There's
I have
there's another one, Making Comics right here.
It's wonderful. Everyone should have it.
Yeah.
Scott McCloud.
Yeah, it's kind of like it's because he's taking comics and actually teaching you to at the same time, which is great. Another one that's great is this one. This is the old Marvel. How did our comics the Marvel way? Because they actually had like almost a process at Marvel Comics where the writer would do this. Like it was a factory of creativity, which is just crazy because it's like that's insanity. How do you do that? But they were like machines. They're like every month we're getting 22 pages. We're getting all that art. We're doing that and like give it to it's great because but that doesn't work for everybody.
No.
My wife has taken a class with a really great art Mike Kunkel, sorry. He did Hero Bear and the Kid. It's great. It was the first comic I ever gave to Christina. I met him at Comic-Con in Chicago, and like, and he teaches classes now. He's amazing, but he started on animation. So it's like, it's amazing how you get where you get. And Christina just finished a class to learn more about graphic novels because it is a different set of muscles and skills. And it's kind of amazing. So you never stop learning a craft. You only get better. More experiences make you better. So with that point, really quick, I want to get from each of you one set of advice from either publishing, your tools that you use, or some type of educational background you would give. If you get it's on you. If you want to go a little longer, that's fine. But I if someone wanted to start somewhere, what would you recommend? Maybe like what you're from a couple pieces or couple lenses of that era. So Meenal, what would be your I guess helpful golden nugget?
Okay, so I did take, because I haven't been like formally educated in creative writing, and I've always been a writing person in terms of like that is the best way for me to process ideas or feelings. And like even since I was a kid, I was a big journaler, diary writer. Like speaking out loud has never been my like best way to communicate. So writing was always like felt important to me, but I was never like formally educated in creative writing. So once I went down this path of picture books, I did want to take a few classes to help me develop the craft of writing. So I took a class, this was a while ago, but it was through the Writing Barn, and it was in like, I think it was called Picture Book 1. It was like the first picture book writing class in a series of classes through the Writing Barn. The instructor was Jyoti Rajan Gopal, who I don't think, so she's also a picture book writer, and she's fantastic and prolific and amazing. And she taught that class then. I don't think she's teaching it right now, but that class is still available at the Writing Barn through a different teacher. But that was super helpful in just just having a group to write with, and then actually bring a manuscript to a critique, and we'd critique each other's work. And it was kind of my first experience doing that back and forth. And I found that to be a really helpful one. And I also just more recently, because I think one thing is you're always developing your craft, like both of you said, like, so there's always a building upon what you know. So I recently also took a writing class from Off Assignment, and it was with Kyo McClear, who is also a picture book writer. Also like just I really, really love her writing. And so it was such a treat to get to learn from her. So I think like really like finding ways to learn and take classes from fellow makers of the thing you're wanting to make.
Yes.
So I was just going to share this. Is this the, I want to make sure I got it right. Is this the other
Yes.
site? Okay,
Yep.
great. I'm putting it, and by the way, if at the end of this, I would love it if you gave me links to any of these things, and I will share them in the podcast notes so people can check them. So because my note taking is pretty horrible, but I'm glad to have that. And I know my wife is a huge advocate of Hamlin in their MFAC course. That's late in life she decided she wanted to be a children's author along with her mainstream job, and that's what she did at Hamlin. There's not many courses that offer it, so it's pretty amazing they have that. And also locally, the Loft is a great place to get education and whatever you want from a creative lens. And even if you're not in the Minneapolis area, your community education, reach out to them. I think there's so many great options that you have there for illustration and writing and anything like that. Even get savvy in some of the things you might need to do as a person, like design a website and do those fun things, because you got to be out there. You got to be selling. My wife says constantly selling and promoting yourself. So make sure you do that. So Emiko, I've given you time. So let's get back to the one question I asked you before, which is no, actually we did cover your current artist, so that's great. Did you give your favorite children's author or artist?
I loved a book called Georgie. My grandma brought it home.
Is it the little bear?
It's a ghost. And
it's that's right.
Robert Bright. And they actually lived in the Whitaker house, which is my maiden name, my last name.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's my mom. Well, I have two. Whitaker Kawada is a hyphenated last name, but I have a married name now. But it was the Whitaker's house, and they had this cute little shy ghost, and the illustrations were just so good. And I just love the contrast of a shy ghost afraid of the people inside of the house, and he had like a little kitty friend and an owl friend, and the illustrations are just so beautiful, like inky, so much movement, so moody, and like it's just old illustration that you just can really dive into, right? Like Frog and Toad. Is it Edward Gorey? He's like,
yes, Adams Family, like that Charles Adams type of art too.
Yeah,
which is kind of moody, but
even
kind
Maurice
of engaging.
Sendak, his inky illustration, like I just love those details, and it's so hand drawn, and nothing's perfect. Nothing is like perfect. I just love that, and I just love that like my name was kind of in the book too. Like I was like, what? Like you can do that? I don't like, obviously not us, but like I was like, oh, that is like so cool. You can put little nuggets in there of names, and maybe you can draw what's in your house, and their house kind of looked like our house in Minneapolis. And I don't know, I just really love that book, and I could read it over and over and over again.
I had that book as a kid growing up. It was amazing. I love that art.
Did you? Oh my gosh.
Yeah, there's another one about a bear and a moose that go trick-or-treating. I can't remember what it's called.
Yeah.
But I love the illustration. So much fun. I'll
he had a couple more Georgie books after that, I believe. We only had the one, but I could just read that one over and over again.
So good.
Love it. Yeah. I love it. Well, very good. So Emiko, one helpful hint or tip that you would give people on their path.
Meenal, that was so good. Writing, definitely. I try to journal 3 pages a day myself. I wouldn't call myself a writer, but I guess I need to start. I write a newsletter, try to do a monthly newsletter every day with my art biz. So I do love writing. I loved poetry. I love poetry. I don't really write it, but I love reading it. I loved writing it when I was little. So writing is definitely number one. Like definitely write. Read all you can read. I'm an avid reader. It kind of gets me into trouble because I could just read for hours, and then I'm like, oh my God, I need to get stuff done. And also like reading is so great because it just opens up other worlds, and then you can see how other people write and how their rhythm is and how their storytelling goes and how their style is. But don't get in the reading trap, because also like it can take time away from your writing and making art too, because it's so fun to do and so easy to do. So I get in trouble. I'm like, oh, okay, I need to stop reading because I need to. Maybe I'm procrastinating. I'm like, oh, I could just read this one more how-to book or what, all the things.
I do that too. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Just deep diving, and I'm like, I've gone too far.
Yeah, I need to like sit down and do the thing, but
I need to do the thing. And just don't stop, because I can see how this is a hard career. We're very lucky to do it. Very, very lucky. It's challenging though. It's challenging to be sustainable in a capitalist world as an artist. The marketing, like you said, Chris said, you have to market as well. You have to have a business hat as well. I think I got that from my dad. He's an entrepreneur. You have to show up. You have to stand out. You have to, you don't have to be like the loudest person in the room, but just showing up is 50%. Like you're almost like you're there, like meeting people, being a part of a community. Meenal and I are in a few collectives together, local collectives, and we support each other. We shout each other out. We come to each other's shows. We share each other on socials. It's genuine and authentic connections that really help us. One person said to me in college, like, it isn't about who you're working with or who your teachers are. It's actually, it's really your peers. You're going to know them the rest of your life. These are your people, and your teachers can become your peers too. Like Lindsay helped me. And that's what it's about. So yeah, BIPOC Minnesota Kid Lit Creators. This is one of the collectives Meenal and I are in. There's amazing, talented, creative authors and illustrators. I just feel so lucky to be in it. Yeah. So be a part of something, show up and keep reading and keep writing and don't stop, because a lot of people run out of gas or they get discouraged. But if you just, have a part-time job or do it, make art outside of your job, you have to live, you have to make money to live and eat and have shelter. So take care of those needs, but like also keep just a little time for yourself and keep making, keep crafting.
Wow. I completely agree. I have seen all of your journeys and I'm so impressed by everybody. I get to be the tag along person. I get to see all these events, and you guys hustle, you do the work, because not everybody gets published, not everybody has an author, an agent, and there's so many things with that. And I've talked, when we had Trish and Christina, we talked some more of that like publishing game, which is just a whole thing. But you got to be promoting yourself, your business, have your contacts up to date, get stuff out there, your art, what you're doing, and be present, because that's eventually opens up doors. And I always say opportunity is a knock that happens very infrequently. So open the door when it's there.
Yeah.
You guys have done some amazing things. So excited what you're doing next. So with that, what are you working on next?
Should I go?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. I'm working on a young graphic novel. Again, I have never done it before. I've worked on a picture book before. I'm writing and illustrating it, so it'll be my debut book. And I'm excited. It's about a girl named Swirl, and she lives in Freezer-Apolis. She's an ice cream girl, rainbow swirl cone girl. And it has a lot of my experiences growing up as a multi-racial girl in the Midwest, but it's in her own world. And I'm excited. It's going to be, it's a sophisticated topic, but there's a lot of whimsy and a lot of fun. And it's not too serious, but it's a good topic to talk about. And I'm really excited to share that with the world.
Absolutely. So we'll get to find out how they can follow you in a second.
Mm-hmm.
Meenal, what is in your future?
First, I'm very excited about what Emiko is
Yes.
making.
You.
And okay, so my book, Where Do Stories Live, just came out in May, so I've been doing a lot of promotion work for
Yes.
that. It's been a little bit intense, and good. It's felt really nice to get to actually share it with kids. But after the summer, kind of a busy summer of doing that, I am ready to get back to making new things. And so I'm working on writing a new story. It's in its like very early stages. I'm not ready to share much about it. But I'm also painting, and I'm particularly excited about painting water scenes because I learned how to swim last year, and I love the water so much. And I think swimming is truly magical, and I cannot believe that it works to like move your body through water without touching anything but the water. Like I feel like the amount of like childlike joy that I felt like when I finally could swim across the pool. It's truly magical. So I've been I just like want to make art about water and swimming. So I'm doing a little bit of that and writing, and also just working on promoting that latest book.
Well, that's amazing. Congratulations on water safety. Learn how to swim. In the land of 10,000 lakes, there's an opportunity you might be in the water. So I'm glad you're safe. And
Thank you.
Are
That's
my son. I
awesome.
remember giving him water lessons, and it's like when he went to YMCA, I'm like, why couldn't you pass to go in the deep end? I never learned how to doggy paddle. I'm like, but you took lessons at Foss. Like, really? Kids are ridiculous. They're silly. They are weird. Well, with one last thing before we go, I did find the book I was thinking about. It's called Halloween with Morris and Grace. It's a bear and a moose.
Oh my gosh.
They are friends.
I don't know this one.
It's so goofy. It's fun. They go and they want to hide and go out for Halloween and trick or treat. It's that probably is my copy that my mom probably put in the garage sale, but I love that book so much. So yeah, it's by Bernard Wiseman, written and illustrated. So there you go.
Nice.
Back to you guys on your journey of being an illustrator and an author. Amazing. Thank you so much for joining us. I feel very privileged to be around such creative people. You energize me when we're out and about. All the shows you do, Meenal is out at events, selling things, all these different events that are there. Emiko has done murals for friends. So it's like I said, hustle. There's a hustle. You're painting on walls. You're selling stores. You're showing to
multiple streams of income.
Yeah,
absolutely, absolutely.
Very important.
So there we go. I think you guys should do like that live thing where you charge people like as you're, and they tell you what they want to draw, and then you draw it and you go, oh, here you go, really quick. It's not great. It's like, do the hustle, right? There you go. There we go. Awesome. Well, thank you so much. Before we go, Meenal, tell people where they can find you around the interwebs.
Yeah, so you can find me on my website, meenalpatelstudio.com. My online shop is there, along with my portfolio and information on some of the collaborative work that I've done. And then in terms of social media, mostly on Instagram, and that's at meenalpatelstudio.com. And Todd, I just want to say thank you so much for cheering us on. Like, you are so incredibly generous in that way to all of us, and that's so appreciated, and just incredibly generous. So thank you for doing that for us and showing up at all our events, and like, just, you're always there to kind of run in and help out, and like it's so incredibly, it's very generous of you. So thank you for doing that and sharing your creativity too.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for letting me be part of this group. It's made me so happy. You guys have all been a brightness and joy. Us old white guys. We need to find joy in other areas beyond just our things. So it's made me feel really happy to be part of that. Be part of the Minnesota collective groups. You guys are great. So it's been amazing. So it's the least I can do is do my best to make sure people find how awesome you guys are and point in the right direction. Emiko, how can people find you? Because your name is very generic. Nobody could ever find you.
EmikoRainbow.com, EMIKO Rainbow.com. Yep, that's my portfolio. I have a little shop on there. Contact. What else I have? Some printable.
It's almost like are you selling shots of yourself? Like
that's my brand, baby.
Gotta love it. Stickers, art prints, posters.
Print posters, fun stuff, collabs, books, all that stuff. Yeah, mostly Instagram. I love working.
The twins shirts. That's pretty amazing.
Thank you. They printed 5,000 of them, and they all went away in like 8 minutes. So that was pretty cool. Yeah, I designed a Caribou hot cup design. That was really fun. Worked with Trader Joe's doing their cards. They're so amazing.
Somebody's got to make a design for those bags at Trader Joe's because apparently those are like crack. People just buy those
oh my God.
Trader Joe's bags. So, Meenal, get hooked up with Emiko and you can make some bags.
They're so basic too. They're like
I know
blue and pink, and I'm like, I don't see it, but okay. All right, that's cool. Whatever. I like the TJ Maxx bags. Those are cool. Do you see those?
I
They
don't
hire
know that
illustrators to like do their dollar bags or whatever, and their designs are super good on them. But anywho, that's me. EmikoRainbow.com and Emiko Rainbow on everything else, but mostly I'm on Instagram.
Excellent. Well, check out their websites, check out their art, and not only do that, buy something, please, because it'll make you a good person and you'll walk away with something you'll treasure forever. So with that, thank you all for joining us. For those who listened, I hope you learned something along the way, inspired you to do something today that you weren't doing yesterday. And if you want to follow me personally, where I just probably put out dumb stuff, but that's it. Toxtra at Todd Oxtra on the BlueSky's Instagram, but more importantly at the Fandom Foundry, BlueSky's Instagram. We have a Discord, we have a YouTube, we have a website, we have a shop on Threadless, which actually needs some new designs. So maybe I need to employ some artists to help me make some cool merch.
Where are you gonna find
how that happens? I don't know. Just follow us there, our YouTube, on podcast, and check out the YouTube video because you can always see these amazing faces in all their art and all the cool stuff they did. So with that, I want to say thank you. As always, makers, you make our lives better. And with that, make something awesome, make the world a better place. Have a good night, everybody.